Hello everybody, bringing you the Smite 3.12 patch notes. The mid-season update. This is the newest god, Erlang Shen. We'll get to him in his own part, but he is the newest god. He's pretty cool. I will put a link down in the description to the patch notes that you can follow along when this goes live. If you're watching this later, you can click down here. This is 3.11, but you'll be able to click on the 3.12. It'll take you directly to it, or you can just click on the link. Let's take a look back at him. So we'll start with the skins, and we'll just go down. This is going to be a very long patch notes, so grab something to drink, grab a snack, because it's going to be a while. So we're starting with the new skin for Bellona in the Summer of Smite event that is starting. Very cool. So the first skin is the Rock-A-Bellona. It's a very cool skin. I really like what they did with her. It's really cool. She's like the 50s diner. It's pretty cool.
Ultimate is ready. Defend middle lane.
And all of her weapons are very unique and cool, like these old car parts on them. It's really cool. Let's take a closer look at that. There she is. She has the old-timey tattoos. The haircut is pretty awesome. Very cool skin. It will probably be a 600 gem skin because it's a total rework of all of her abilities, voice pack, all that. So it will probably be a 600 gem skin, but with the summer event, you do get an Enigma chest that unlocks some recolor stuff, other skins, voice packs, all the good stuff that people just love from chests. And then the second skin is the Chef Special Kepri, but this one won't be released until the 12th of July, and they'll just keep doing a different one each week. The Land Shark, Challenger, Pool Party, Floaticorn, Get Served, and the Olympian theme. I think you'll unlock these things as you go, as you get with 2, 4, 6, and 8. So the Tropical Paradise along with the Enigma chest are the first things that you get. I haven't seen this yet, but I'm assuming it looks just like this with the god there. It looks pretty cool. I like it. But the Chef Special Kepri, he is a giant lobster serving kebabs. It is pretty ridiculous. He even has one of his claws banded there.
Ultimate ready!
And that voice pack is just amazing. He's got a little thing of butter on his back. It is a ridiculous skin.
Behind us! Completed!
This will probably be another 600, but you'll get an Enigma chest with it, so that's pretty cool. You get all this. You have a chance to get all of that good stuff. And then we have the first tier 2 skin of this patch is Fenrir, the Iron. Pretty cool skin. I like it. He's got like a white fur now on this one. It's pretty cool. He's got armor. These awesome spikes on him. Very cool. His claws glow the same orange. Very cool. One of my favorite tier 2s. I'm not a huge fan of them. And then to the second one, I actually like this one as well. They've been getting better as of late. Let me just find her. Skadi. The Frostbound Skadi. Pretty cool looking. And all of these skins will get their own video and such. I really like what they did with Calder. It's pretty cool. She's got a cool little ice crown thing. Very cool. I like the green. Very awesome. The card art is really cool as well. That is really cool. Let's check out the Fenrir one as well. Very cool. His card arts are awesome. Very cool. Okay, and then we have the recolor for Erlang Shen. So he's got like the silver armor and his regular one. Of course, it's not going to load there. And then in this one, he's got like gold. It's pretty cool. Gold purple, while this one is the silver blue. Pretty cool. I like his armor. He'll be getting his own video though. And then a new card, or like the loading card for Thor has been updated. Or not a new one, it's just been updated. There he is. So his heavy metal skin, this looks so badass. It's just the card art. I kind of wish they would update it a little bit too. It's looking a little outdated. This is one of the first like really special skins, like really old school Smite. But this looks super cool. I love the card art. It is amazing. He looks way more heavy metal. And then there's a new avatar, the cutesy chef special Kepri. Let's see if I can even see it. I think I have to go into the store. Gods, account, avatar, search. Nope, it's not going to show up. But it's pretty much just the chef special Kepri, and it's all cutesy. Kind of cool. And then we have some new achievements. The 2 for Odin, cage match. As Odin, kill 4 enemy gods inside of your ultimate ring of spear. So pretty much just ring in 4 people, kill them real quick. And then Bird Bomb, as Odin, kill 15 enemies in a single match using Raven Shout and Lunge together. That shouldn't be too hard. That's a pretty deadly combo. It does a lot of damage. And then Hercules is a Ricochet. As Hercules, use Excavate, his ultimate, to hit an enemy god twice in one use and kill them on the second hit. Shouldn't be too hard as long as you get the bounce and hit them again. And then Earthbreaker, as Hercules, knock an enemy up 5 times in a single match using Earthbreaker. Just land your 2, and that's an easy achievement for those who like to get the achievements. And then the last achievements is for AMC, a Moose and Cobb. How sweet. As AMC, pick up 5 stingers in a single match, so just land your ultimate and then pick it up 5 times. Shouldn't be too hard, especially because that cooldown that you get with it is really good. And then Disarm, as AMC, disarm an enemy god using bees. Shouldn't be too hard either. Laning phase, you should be trying to do that as much as possible to push back the enemy so they can't attack the lane while you can. Okay, and then the Summer of Smite, I kind of went over it, but the Summer of Smite 2016 will be starting with this next patch, and then skins will come out, or stuff will come out weekly, and you'll be able to get the rewards for it. So over the next 2 months, we'll be adding new content every week to unlock, as well as bonus rewards by unlocking a certain amount of items, plus a free Enigma treasure chest for every item purchased in the Summer of Smite event. And then the first will be the Rock-A-Bellona, then Chef Special Kepri. So you'll be able to get 8 chests, so that's 8 skins, or voice packs, or booster, avatar, ward, emote that you can get just by getting the stuff. What's that? Oh, it just explains this. And then there's going to be a special Medusa skin at the end, Sea Maiden. She's probably, she's going to be a mermaid. That'll be perfect. I think that makes perfect sense of all the gods to make her a mermaid. And then so it'll start the next coming patch, and then the Bellona skin will be out, and then a week later they will do the Chef Special Kepri. And then once you get both of those, you can get the loading frame, and so on and so forth, until you get to Sea Maiden and all this other cool stuff. So then we will start with the miscellaneous changes. Pretty good music too if you have your music on, not bad. The item store layout for starter items now matches our previous updates to relics and consumables, so they'll just be all nice and neat in order so that you can pick whichever one you want. And then they updated the UI elements to make it more clear when you are in auto skill and auto buy modes for those professional players, so they don't have to reset games and take up the tournament time. There's new relics. The first new relic is Thorns. You'll remember it from last season, the Shield of the Underworld. It's pretty much the same thing. So, a variation of one of our favorite old actives items has returned with a new name to fit the relic scheme. The ability to reflect damage is especially effective on high HP characters versus hunters, mages, and assassins. So your guardians will be most likely picking this up, or probably maybe hunters will take it so they can 1v1 better, maybe solo laners. We will see. So using this item reflects 40% of all damage you take before mitigations. For the next 5 seconds, back to its owner as magical damage, and it's a 120-second cooldown, so it doesn't make it so you can't auto lifesteal off of them. That's no longer on it. So it's pretty much the same thing without that. And then the next new relic is a Phantom. Players can now become a Phantom at any time, passing through players and the obstacles they create. So like your mirror walls, bigger characters like Kepri, Ymir won't be able to body block you as easily, or well at all, because you'll be able to just go right through them. And with an additional bonus that removes the movement penalty for basic attacking, allowing hunters and assassins to be extremely aggressive. So you can use this to like get through the front line, get to the back line, and just keep on attacking. So it's kind of brings back the gas pedaling of old hunters of yesteryear. So using this item allows you to pass through players and player-made objects for 5 seconds. It also grants a 100% reduction to basic attack movement penalty to the duration. Cooldown 140 seconds. So to bring a little bit of diversity to the hunter class. And that is all for the new relics. We will move on to the reworking a little bit of the other relics. So Blink, by reducing the time of out of combat, Blink will now function better as an escape if distance is created, or a re-engage tool with its increased cooldown in Season 3. We want to ensure Blink still allows players to use in multiple ways. So the time of out of combat Blink can be used reduced from 5 to 3 seconds. So if you don't take damage for 3 seconds, you'll be able to blink instead of the 5 before. So that'll make it so you can get away easier, or if you need to re-engage and people are trying to peel for their team, you'll be able to blink in better. So that'll work really well. I really like that change. I feel like the 5 seconds was a little much, and I think people pick up Blink more now just because of that. And then next up is Curse. Curse has been a potent relic due to its powerful slow and ability to counter healers very effectively. In combination with other Season 3 item changes, healers have been struggling to make an impact, so this effect of Curse has been adjusted. So the healing reduction decreased from 65 to 50%, making healers a little more viable. Maybe we'll see some more hells, that kind of thing. Hopefully, because I like healing metas. Makes it so you can stay in the fights longer, that kind of thing. Makes it so you have to prioritize the enemies a little better. I really like that change. So I feel like healers just aren't used as much, other than like Guan Yu, but that's because he's a tank who can heal, which has made it hard to fight into. So the next relic is Frenzy. Also, so it's just getting an added effect onto it. It now also applies a 20% attack speed increase for the duration. So this will be good if you have multiple auto attack characters on your team. You can just make your attack speed better, take things down better, take down fire giants, towers, just enemy gods. It should help a lot. I like that change as well. There's a lot of good changes in this patch, and I like just about every one of them. So the next relic is Scout. They're changing pretty much every relic, at least a little bit. Almost. So Scout is the relic that would make you use, or you could use to summon a ward every, I think it was 140 seconds. And then if you went back to base, you could then use it again. Very underrated one. I think if you used it correctly, you could get a lot of gold and get ahead of the enemy team's support. It's generally the ones picking it up. So they've changed it. So Scout is meant to be a viable starting option for supports, but was often outclassed by other relics like the Curse and so on. But it was often outclassed, so with Scout's new ability, supports can use it as gold source by warding the right spots. They should both improve the viability of the relic as well as improve games by definitively rewarding skilled ward placement. So now, revealing enemy wards with Scout causes you to gain 25 gold per revealed ward. So just revealing the ward now gives you gold. And then if you clear it, that's even more gold. So that's 75 extra gold that you'll be getting if you clear it as well as spot it out. And then the cooldown has been reduced from 140 to 120. Okay, next up we have the Sprint Relic. The duration is being reduced from 6 to 5 seconds, so you won't be able to sprint as long. And the cooldown is increased from 140 seconds to 150 seconds because sprint is just so used. It's very often used. Helps get you out of things, helps you chase enemies, that sort of thing. So they're just adjusting a little bit because it is used very often. And then next up we have Sunder. We want Sunder to not only be a damaging ability, but reward players who hit the correct targets. Sunder will now provide an attack speed reduction to targets hit, as well as provide a more potent protection shred. This allows Sunder to serve as a strong damage tool, as well as serious debuff tool. So the protection reduction is reduced from 25% to 30%, so you'll be doing 30% more damage, and then also applies a 30% attack speed reduction to the Sunder target. Teleport is up next. Teleport has long been a staple for the solo lane, creating interesting combat situations when used with wards and towers. With this change, we aim to increase the amount of counterplay so that teleporting feels more tactical and calculated, rather than an emergency entrance or exit. So the increased channel time from 3 to 4 seconds just makes it longer to get anywhere that they're wanting to go. Wrath is the primary jungle control relic, but hasn't been picked up often by the assassin or guardians of Smite. With the increased damage to jungle bosses and the added stun, this relic becomes much more versatile while still serving its original purpose of jungle camp clear. Using Wrath now stuns nearby enemy gods for 1 second, increased damage to jungle bosses from 1000 to 1250, and the cooldown increased from 60 to 90 seconds. So the stun will be very helpful when trying to steal Fire Giant or securing Fire Giant, that kind of thing, or even just stealing away buff camps or when your buff camps are trying to be stolen, that kind of thing. So that is all for the relic changes. Next up we have item changes. There's a few new items and a bunch of edited items. So the first of the new items is Ritual Dagger. Relic augmentation is something we are very excited to try. Ritual Dagger is launching with a set of stats that is useful to a wide array of gods, allowing for many different types of relic-based strategies. So it's going to be 1850 gold, and it'll give you plus 200 health, 10% cooldown reduction, plus 20% attack speed, plus 10% movement speed, and a passive. Whenever you use a relic, the duration of the relic's effects are increased by 50%. So sprint will last longer, weakening will last longer. It'll affect just about all of them. It won't affect teleport, that kind of thing, or blink. But it'll affect all of the other timed ones. So that'll be really good if you're wanting to use sprint, or the Phantom, that kind of thing. It'll be very interesting to see what people do with this. I'm excited for this item. The next new item is Emperor's Armor. The ability to strengthen and weaken towers is a new and potential powerful effect. Emperor's Armor will allow for guardians, warriors, or even some riskier tower divers to tip the odds in the favor when fighting around structures. So it'll be 2200 gold, plus 250 health, plus 30 physical protection, and an aura passive that enemy structures within 55 units have their attack speed decreased by 30%, and allied structures within 55 units have their attack speed increased by 30%. So debuff to enemy towers and increase to your friendly towers. So that'll be really good. I'm excited to see what they do with that one as well. It looks like it could be really cool. And then there's some changes to Adventurer's Blade. They remove the crowd control reduction, so that is the item that goes into Witchblade, and they increase the movement speed from 7 to 10%, because it'll be going from that into the Ritual Dagger. Next up is Ancile. As an anti-mage item for warriors or assassins, the additional damage from Ancile's old passive wasn't proving very useful. Ancile now provides additional magical protection, as well as an additional form of crowd control. This added utility ensures the players who successfully ambush the enemy will have an extra advantage. So increased magical protection from 40 to 60, and the new passive is whenever you take magical damage from an enemy ability, you unleash a shockwave that silences all enemies within a range of 20 units for 1 second. The effect cannot trigger more than once every 60 seconds. So it's kind of like, what is that, defensive item that stuns everyone around you when you get to a certain threshold. This one does the same thing, except when you take magical damage, it silences them. Both of those used in conjunction will be very good. I have a feeling Ancile will be picked up a lot more now, because that silence will work, all the time. So mages will have to be careful on who they hit and when. I'm excited to see what that does. So the Executioner is getting... Oh no, Bancroft's Talon. Sorry, they messed up a little bit. So Bancroft's Talon allows players who are low health to be a major threat, but players needed to be in extreme danger to feel the full benefits of this item. So how it was is when you get the lower health you had, the more magical power you got. And it doesn't really work that well with mages, because you never really want to be low as a mage because you'll die very quickly usually. So making the power buff max out earlier lets players use the risk and reward mechanics of this item more effectively. So the passive updated is the 100 power from this item's passive will now be gained when at 25% HP, up from 0% HP. So it'll just make it more viable and usable. So more people will pick it up. It's still picked up, but just not as much as they would like. So Golden Bow and Throwing Dagger are being removed from the game. There's a big long paragraph on the patch notes if you really want to read it, but it kind of just made the hunters all in like the same uniform build pretty much. There's a couple little things that they would change, but for the most part they would start with the Throwing Dagger and it would be the same thing just about every time. 90% of the time probably people are going Throwing Dagger, just because the clear is so good. The benefit is just too good. So they're removing it to see how this will change things, and hopefully to bring more diversity in the hunter builds. Next up is the Heartseeker. Gotta drink my water. Hopefully you guys have a drink too. And I just turned on my Xbox. So Heartseeker's passive was not providing enough power to justify buying. By allowing the plus 40 power to persist for 3 seconds, this item will provide much more of a punch to players who can land many attacks in a rapid succession. So the new passive is hitting an enemy with a basic attack helps you gain focus, increasing attack speed by plus 3% per stack, maximum of 5 stacks. At 5 stacks, your next ability cast consumes these stacks and provides an additional plus 40 physical power buff for 3 seconds. It's not like your next attack, it's the next 3 seconds. So as many attacks as you can get off in that time will have plus 40 physical power attached to it. So that'll be really good on very fast attacking gods like a Kali, that kind of thing. So the more you attack, the more damage you'll do. And it doesn't say that there's a cooldown on the ability, so it's not like every 60 seconds or every 30 seconds or whatever. So I feel like if you could max out attack speed, and it would just continue to work the entire time. So fast characters like the Kali will probably benefit from this item greatly. Next up is the Runeforged Hammer. Runeforged Hammer's new passive is meant to synergize with Frostline warriors. Frontline, not Frostline. But it will work with Frostbound. Gods that want to infiltrate the enemy formation will be able to use this item to effectively mark a target for death with a single slow. So the new passive aura, enemies who are within 20 units of you and are slowed take 10% more damage from all sources. So if they get slowed and they're in that 20 unit radius, they'll take 10% more damage from all sources, not just you. Every damage that they take will be 10% more. So that'll be really good. It'll go well with Frostbound or a Gem of Isolation or other abilities. Like if Sun Wukong jumps into a group, does his 2, slows them all, they all take 10% more damage. As long as they stay in that 20% or the 20 unit range. So this item will probably be picked up a lot more. I really like these changes because I feel like they're going to diversify the builds, you know? Like make them more different, because it's just like a uniform builds right now. It's kind of what it is. Next up is Genji's Guard. They updated the visual effects when triggered. So whenever you affect or get the Genji's Guard passive to trigger, it'll now be an updated effects, so you'll be able to see it a lot better. And then the last of the item changes is Spectral Armor. So Ghost Arc was an interesting ability, but attaching it to an expensive physical protection item made it very difficult to use. So with the changes to relics in this patch, we kept the relic interaction of Spectral Armor on Spectral Armor, but changed the effect to be cooldown reduction. Tanky characters can use this reduction to combo multiple abilities with the use of a relic. So the new passive, when you activate a relic, your cooldowns are reduced by 3 seconds. This effect can only occur once every 30 seconds, and they updated visual effects when triggered as well, as same as Genji's Guard, just so you and the enemies know more of when it happens. Now to the God changes. And first up on the list is AMC. AMC is seeing an increase to his early game clear to solidify his position as a hunter with powerful lane clear but limited mobility. So the general, AMC's basic attacks offset distance has been reduced. So his attack seems a lot farther over. They're going to push it more to the middle of his body. And then his honey has increased damage from 8 to 60 to 13 to 61. So one whole increased damage at max strength. But they have to do that because of the scaling on his hit. That ability makes it kind of weird. So he'll just be doing more damage throughout the laning phase, which will help. Because he has good damage, but his mobility doesn't make up for it. So they are increasing his damage a little bit. And next up is Anubis. Anubis has a focused kit that relies on high damage output and pinpointed crowd control. With the changes to Mummify and Death Gaze, these strengths are highlighted, allowing Anubis to have more control over the fights he commits to. So general, his basic movement speed from 350 to 360, so he's going to be a little bit faster, which will help him because he doesn't have an escape. He has a CC, that's all he has to get away. And then Mummify, we reduce the cooldown from 18 to 14 seconds and to 16 to 12. So at all ranks it'll be a little better. So he'll be able to use it more often. So that'll help. And then his Death Gaze, they increase the radius of it, so the area that it deals damage is from 1.25 to 1.75. That is a big difference. It looks a lot more smooth and better. I think that'll help him out a lot because he really does do a ton of damage, but he has to stand still for 2 of his abilities, so that makes him not very useful. So Ao Kuang is up next. Ao Kuang can burst down gods in a variety of situations with a full set of damaging abilities and an execute. It is important that players have some time to react to him. Dropping the damage on the easiest to confirm ability will help in that goal. So Wild Storm, the damage decreased from 90 to 290 to 80 to 260, so that's a 40 damage difference. So that'll be pretty good. Ao Kuang's been really good for a while. In the right hands, he does really well, but that's any god is just that way. Okay, next up is Arachne. While this changed to Arachne's Web, has balanced implications, its primarily being driven around improving the feel for both Arachne and for players on the receiving end of the ability. Web provided little to no feedback for enemy players as it just dropped on top of them instantly hitting them. So as soon as it hit them, it would do it. So it was hard to understand what happened and why it happened. This new version will allow enemies to better read Arachne's actions, as well as provide more visceral feedback to Arachne players. This also adds a skill shot to Arachne, and with the extra difficulty, the ability now always creates an initial web trail for her movement enhancement. So, her web, instead of it just plopping down, like, say you put it right here, it wouldn't just plop down there. It would shoot out and hit it'll stop at the first god, or if it stops at a wall. So Arachne shoots a line of web forward. She's immune to slows and moves faster on web. If the web reaches max range, a web trap will spawn, just like the old one. It'll stop there until an enemy hits it. Enemy gods who walk through the trap or get hit by the projectile are slowed by 25%, revealed to Arachne, leave a trail of web behind them, and are attacked by broodlings. Arachne can only have 2 web traps active at a time, and the web lasts 240 seconds. I kind of wish they would allow her to have more webs. I feel like that would help her a lot. Like if she could just web the entire jungle, that would be really cool. It'd be more spider-like, you know? Okay, next up is Aphrodite. There's a lot of passive changes in this one. New passives, that kind of thing. Okay, so Aphrodite is receiving a new passive ability. Gods were considered for new passive based on community feedback and how the passive interacted with the kit. Her old passive only affected her kiss ability and has been relocated there. Her new passive, Center of Attention, makes her increasingly harder to kill in large team fights, opening up her ability to sport SMH. It also provides a unique bonus to her safety in that Aphrodite's stack number can alert her to enemies looking to gank her from the jungle. So that'll help in solo and mid, well, I guess anywhere really. So she has a new passive, Center of Attention. Aphrodite gains 4 physical protections and 4 magical protections for each friendly and enemy god within 70 units of her. And it stacks up to 9 times. So 9 times 4 for her protections. And then Kiss now provides 30% mana regeneration. So they just moved her old passive to Kiss and has this new passive. So you'll get a little passive meter, or the passive will show up when a god is nearby. So you'll be able to see people through walls, really. You will, but you won't. Like, you'll know that someone's there, you don't know where though. So next up is Chang'e, Moonflower Dance. So her scaling on the healing portion of this ability is increased from 30 to 40% just to help with her healing, because it's not on par with almost any other healer. It's one of the worst heals. Okay, and next up is Fafnir. Fafnir was slightly underpowered at launch. Hope I did it again. And will be getting some buffs to improve his abilities. Cursed Strength is designed to help to be a high-risk, high-reward skill shot, so the stun duration is being increased to make this worth the effort. Additionally, Dragon Breath is receiving a damage increase to make it more intimidating and help Fafnir confirm kills. Also, all of Fafnir dots in dragon form have had their timing changed to apply damage on the initial hit for better readability. So Cursed Strength, the stun increased from 1 to 1.5 at all ranks. So just a little bit stronger, and the damage over time in dragon form now deals damage at 0, 1.5, and 3 seconds instead of 1, 2, and 3. And his Underhanded Tactics, damage over time in dragon form now deals damage at 0, 1.5, and 3 instead of 1, 2, 3. So pretty much the same thing. And then Draconic Corruption, damaging over time from dragon transformation now does damage at 0, 1.5, and 3 instead of 1, 2, 3, same as the others. And then Dragon Breath, increased damage from 10 to 30 to 20 to 40. So that'll just make Fafnir a little better. I feel like Fafnir was good. The games that I've played with him, I've enjoyed. I've usually gotten ahead with a very greedy build, doing Watcher's Gift into the Traveler Shoes. So you just get tons and tons and tons of gold, and you get ahead really quickly without even having to really do much. Even if you go even, like kills, then you're going to be ahead, just because of his passive and those other passives together. So next up is the Guan Yu. Guan Yu is getting a new set of powerful tools to apply to different combat scenarios, but his passive is being adjusted to only proc when it full stacks. So Guan Yu has been locked into the role of group healer in the past, but his new passive will allow him more ways to influence a team fight other than just healing. So his new passive is painless. Each time Guan Yu deals or receives damage, he gains a stack. Stacks are gained from minions and gods. At max stacks, the next ability used will have a boosted effect, and the maximum stacks increase from 20 to 30, so he can have more stacks, or he needs more stacks to use it, and they won't work like if he has half stacks, it won't benefit his other abilities. And then Conviction, his heal, the healing is increased from 50 to 170 to 100 to 340 when boosted by Painless. So it's going to be a huge boost, but he has to be at max stacks. That is a lot of healing. And then Warrior's Will, slow increase from 30 to 60% when boosted by Painless. Tallow Assault, protection steal increased from 2 to 10 to 3 to 15 when boosted. And then Cavalry Charge, the slow increase from 20 to 40%, and stun increase from 1 to 2 when boosted. So if he's boosted and does any of those, it'll do more, because the stacks are higher, and you have to be at max to use it. So to make it a little more appealing to not use your abilities until it's, well, I guess you can't use it until it's at max stacks, but it'll just make it more benefit to actually build them up, and you do it. And so Hell is next. Hell is seeing a variety of buffs to help her compete with other mages. Her utility and healing are her primary strengths, so those are being augmented even further to make her an attractive pack leader, the Hell, over a standard burst mage. So the stance attunement, her switching stances, decreased time it takes to fully charge a stance from 5 to 3 seconds, so you'll get your damage boost and you'll get your CDR boost quicker. Hinder, increase slow from 10 to 30%, from 20 to 40, so it'll be more of a heal and you'll get it more quickly, or more of a slow, sorry. Inspire, scaling increased from 30 to 40%, and movement speed increased from 15 to 25 to 25 at all ranks. So that'll be good for Hell. Hopefully people pick her up. She is good, especially if she can get to late game. So similar to Aphrodite, Nija's old passive only affected one ability in a way that didn't feel rewarding. The new passive has a critical chance buff attached to it that rewards you for staying in combat. It also retains the heal from Flaming Spear, but does not consume the stacks, removing the cumbersome trade-off of his old passive. So the new passive, Nija's third passive since he's been introduced, he gains a stack from successful basic attacks and ability hit, and 2 times stacks from critical hits. Each stack provides him with 0.5% crit chance. Stacks are lost after being out of combat for 5 seconds. So just stay in combat and you'll be able to crit more, which will just build up your stacks, so it'll just be better. So Flaming Spear now heals up to 15% of Nija's maximum HP depending on how many stacks of Righteous Spirit he has. 0.75% per stack. That'll be a good heal. It'll take quite a few hits, but it'll be good. So Odin's new passive fits his lore very well and gives him a unique killstreak playstyle. This ability triggers from the deaths of an allied and enemy gods anywhere on the map, so Odin will be powering up any time a fight is unfolding. His old passive still exists as part of the ultimate, rewarding players for confirming kills inside of his Rogue Spears. So a lot of the passives, they're not really going away, they're just being move to other abilities, which I like. It's better to add things than remove things. So his new passive, whenever any god dies on the battlefield, anywhere, Odin gains 10% movement speed and 10% power for 10 seconds. This buff can stack up to 5 times. That's 50% more movement speed and 50% more power, so he'll be hitting hard. And then his Ring of Spears gains permanent stacks of +5 attack power for each enemy god that dies inside the ring, which is pretty cool. So Raijin, his general, he removed magical protections scale. So his magical protections were scaling. Ratatasker reduced HP per level from 75 to 73, and Acre Blast reduced damage from 50 to 110 to 40 to 100. Make him a little less tanky and deal a little bit less damage. Sylvanas, verdant growth time reduced seed. They reduced the time it takes for his little sapling to grow into a tree from 12 to 5 seconds. Make it way more viable because that thing took forever to grow. And they also increased the MP5 from 6 to 20 to 20 at all ranks. So if a good Sylvanas, he'll go to each lane, throw one down. Hopefully. That's the idea. Oh man, we're almost done. 2 more. Very long patch notes. I hope you guys have enjoyed and stay tuned this long. And I hope you guys stay tuned for these skins. So Vamana, his Sleeping Giant, the tooltip edited to remove the description related to his ultimate. So it's not on there anymore. And Colossal Fury, the tooltip edited to include the functionality of this ability. So they pretty much just moved it from his passive to his ultimate. Yay, big changes. Everyone's happy about that one. And last is Vulcan. After experimenting with a few different passives for Vulcan, we found that the best feeling came from a passive that rewards what he does best: poke enemy gods. He's one of my favorite gods to poke with because it's so annoying to get hit by that meatball. His new passive increases his mobility and provides positive feedback to players that prioritize damaging enemy gods. So his new passive, his old passive was when he hit with an ability, his next basic attack would slow. You didn't know when it actually worked because I don't know. It didn't work that well with his kit. So his new passive, whenever Vulcan successfully hits an enemy god with an ability, he gains plus 15 MP5 and plus 15% movement speed for 5 seconds. So it'll help his escape. He'll gain more health. That'll help him in laning, help him everywhere. It'll be great. I love Vulcan. He was my first god to 10. I played him back when he had 2 turrets. I think this change was great and will help him out immensely. Whew. So that was all of the 3.12 patch notes, except for the new god. So I'll go over him real quick, and then I will do videos for each of the skins. Longshan.
Hi! Return to base!
Not what I would expect it. He sounds like. I don't like his voice back.
Out of mana. I'll attack the Gold Fury!
It doesn't fit him, I don't think. But okay, so his passive is Howling Celestial Dog. As you can see, he's got a little doggy. Every time Longshan hits with a basic attack, his dog hits as well for 15% of the basic attack power, which triggered the basic attacks at 15% of their normal damage and can critical hit. So like Frostbound, that kind of thing, his dog will do it as well. Shut up, be quiet. So his 1 is Longshan opens his third eye. So this thing is, it's actually a third eye, it's not just like a headpiece. And analyzes the enemy's strength and weaknesses. When activated, Longshan gains an additional physical damage, plus 25 to plus 85, plus 15% of your physical power on each strike, and ignores basic attack movement penalties for the duration for 5 seconds. While on cooldown, successful basic attacks reduce the cooldown on this ability, and the cost is 60 to 80, and the cooldown is 14 seconds, but then each attack reduces the cooldown when it's on cooldown. So he pretty much is a Hasten Fatalis, gains physical power, and can make the cooldown even lower. So that'll be a very good ability if you're building attack speed. From what I've seen, he's mainly a damage dealer. He is a warrior, but I mean, I guess. So Pin Erlong Shen, his 2, launches a spear that damages enemies 85 to 265 plus 45% of your physical power on impact. Enemies in the dead center of the effect when it lands are crippled and rooted in place for 1.15 to 1.75 seconds, and the cost is 50 to 70, and the cooldown is 12 seconds. Next is, he's a Chinese god. He is like Wukong's nemesis. He has 72 transformations as well, so Wukong transforms, he transforms, they match each other pretty much. But he has different animals, and he only has 2 instead of the 3 like Sun Wukong. So Erlong Shen transforms into a mink or a turtle, and charges forward. And the cost is 65 to 85, the cooldown is 18 to 14. So the mink damages all enemies 90 to 330 plus 85 of your physical power, stopping on the first god hit and increasing attack speed by plus 15 to plus 35 for 6 seconds. So it's like the tiger, but without the stun, and instead of the stun, he gets a attack speed bonus. And then the turtle, it's like the boar, or not the boar, the whatever it was. It knocks up enemies in a path, dealing damage 75 to 275 plus 40% of your physical power, and gains a shield 70 to 215 for 12 seconds. So it's like Bloodforge. He gains a shield when he hits an enemy god and knocks them up. So it'll be good for an escape. And then his ultimate, 9 turns blessing. So Erlong Shen taunts nearby enemies, gaining damage mitigation 10 to 15% for the next 4 seconds. Afterwards, if Erlong Shen is still alive, he is healed for a flat amount, 150 to 510 plus 20% of his maximum health. So if he's stacking health, that is going to be a huge heal. And the cost is 80 to 100, and the cooldown is 85 seconds. Pretty short cooldown for, sounds like a good ability. So that is Erlong Shen. I will do a video just for him. I'll show off all his skills, all that, and I will showing off all the new skins. If you stay tuned this long, I honestly will be surprised. It's a very long patch notes. A lot is happening. A lot of really, really, really good things. I am excited for this patch. It's going to do a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed. Give me your feedback on this, what I've done, what I can improve on. Also, what you think of the patch. I think it's a great patch. The skins look good. The god looks good. All the changes look good. I like what they're doing. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you so much for staying tuned, and have a great rest of your day.